Welcome to Patriotim. In this episode, we shall be talking on national culture and patriotism. My name is Adamu Musa Adams. Let's commence this conversation by 1. Defining national culture, 2. Defining patriotism, and 3. How harmonization of existing culture will enhance national development and patriotism. What is national culture? We'll skip culture and go straight to national culture. IG Global, publishers of timely knowledge, define national culture as norms, belief, behavior, custom, and value shared by the population of a sovereign nation. E.g., the Chinese and Canadian national culture. It refers to specific characteristics such as language, religion, ethnic and racial identity, cultural history, and tradition. He added that the behavior of the inhabitants of a nation is shaped by the values, the beliefs, and cultural traditions that are common to them, which differ from other nations. What are these values? What are these beliefs and cultural traditions that are common to Nigerians? Now, Nigeria, as it were, with a multi-ethnicity and diverse culture, has a particular salient common theme that runs around across all of these diverse culture that is seeking to become a national culture. As a matter of fact, it's embedded in our constitution that states and every individual has the right to their cultural heritage. However, this should be developed by the state towards a national identity and unity. On this foundation, the Nigeria Constitution equally has in it the 7 core national values that cut across all of this tradition, all of this culture, and all of these beliefs. For example, the African traditional religion, the Christian religion, and even Islam, among others, only look up to one thing: the supremacy of God, the constant and the universal nature of God. So every of this culture and tradition is tilted towards one: injustice. There must be equity. There's no culture in Nigeria that supports, or tradition or belief that supports injustice, that supports stealing, that supports killing, that supports immorality. However, over time it has become so difficult for us to be able to harmonize this singular culture, this multicultural, to become a singular homogeneous culture where we can have a national identity and allow patriotism to flow through. In view of this, after the independence, sometime in 1970, after the Civil War, when we have battled, after our early days of independence, when we have battled for having a nation that can become just one, there was a design. And what was the design? The 7 national core values, which includes discipline, integrity, dignity of labor, social justice, religious tolerance, self-reliance, and patriotism, cut across all ethnic, religious, and professional divides. So as it were, there is a provision from the beginning to ensure that every citizen is taught all of this value. It then means that we were looking at a national culture that will, 1, embrace integrity, dignity of labor, social justice, religious tolerance, self-reliance, and patriotism. January 1970, after about 10 years of our national independence, the federal government articulated the 5 main national development goals of building free and democratic society, just and egalitarian society, a united, strong, and reliant society, a great and dynamic economy, and a land full of bright opportunity for all citizens, as contained contained in the Second National Development Plan 1970 to 1974 and endorsed in 1973 as the necessary foundation for the Nigerian National Policy on Education, which was first published in 1977. So as it were, there is a drive, there is a goal, there is a nation that is multi-ethnic that needed to flow through this 5 developmental goal to achieve the national identity we seek. And this is embedded in the 7 core value we have stated earlier. So it doesn't mean that from then till now have we done anything to attain a national identity. If you were asked, what is the Nigerian national culture? How do I mean? When you've seen in the airport, in Amsterdam, in London, in Russia, in China, wherever you're seeing and you identify, the first thing that comes to the mind of whoever is going to deal with you, it's corruption. That's not our national identity. We're men of integrity. Our culture was embedded with equity. It was embedded with integrity. We were seen as great people. The explorer who came in were welcome, so they could see through our people, walk through our simple accommodation until we became one nation. It's embedded from the north to the south to the east to the west. We are all a very welcoming people. So over time, the campaign in the image making of Nigeria came up to say, Nigeria, good people, great nation. Indeed, that was not just a statement, it's the reality of who we were, who we still are. So the question now is, if this is not achieved, can patriotism take place? Earlier we said patriotism is love for one's country and its people. Another definition went as far as saying concern for one's nation and its people. Patriotism, as it were, is the fellow countryman. So it means your care first is for the next fellow countryman who is the same race with you, who share the same national culture with you, who is a part of the nation that you're a part of. So it doesn't mean that this value is supposed to be established, taught, passed through from one generation to the other. So it means on this note, we, as much as we will not say that the agencies that are responsible for this are not doing well, we equally want to say there still needs to work up to bring the people to this estate to understand how many of our citizens from school to the National Assembly to wherever we are understand this core value and this national development goal, and how much are we working towards this. Now the establishment in 1977 pegged this under the Ministry of Education as a responsibility that every citizen, it's by right, should know this, work on this, work towards this, work through this, and become, in fact it's embedded even in our syllabus, in our extracurricular activities in the school in the early age. You realize that at the inter-house sport competition, at interstate sport competition, you're visiting from one state to the other. At national sport competition, there is always a cultural display of all of our diverse culture. You see the Egugu from the east, you see the masquerade of the north, you see cultural display of what we have in diversity being interpreted in one place. Good enough. It's not even done by people who speak same tribe. You speak Ibibio, and at the National Cultural Festival, you realize that from that same school you're coming from, you who speak Ibibio is dancing the Yoruba dance, is singing the Yoruba song. There is an integration that is designed to make us evolve and integrate into one unit with a national identity as Nigerian good people, great nation, not corrupted, not interrupted, because we are pursuing a particular. So Nigeria has a goal to drive us to this identity in these 4 places, but we need patriotism to pilot it. We need patriotism to amplify it. And until this is done, and our national culture and national identity is defined as one people. You see, in the early stage, there is this clamor for one nation. One nation, one nation. Why do we speak one nation? Was that campaign achieved? Because there was a campaign for one nation. It doesn't matter who you are, you're first Nigeria, irrespective of where you're coming from. Whether you are Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba, a Christian, a Muslim, an atheist, and even a traditional believer, the first thing is one Nigeria. So far, has individual allegiance been to the nation Nigeria or to individual ethnic groups and tribes? Now, if no, What went wrong? And what do we do to achieve this? Because until we're able to achieve this national identity, the place of patriotism will still be lost. And until national identity is in place and patriotism is in place, the development and nation building we seek is still far. I will advocate that more than ever, history should be taught in all of our schools, including from the cradle. If I don't know who fought for my independence, how he fought for my independence, then how do I have who to look up to become a hero? If the national anthem maintains that the labors of our heroes' path shall never be in vain, removing history is deleting them. Removing history is allowing their labor to first be in vain. There's no generational handover. There's no generational movement. There's no motivation. There is no a modeling from history of people who had fought a fight, and the spirit with which they fought the fight is not embedded into the people. There's no transmission. There's no continuity. If history is not returned quickly, we'll find out that there will be a generational gap, and we'll head for a doom of a people that knows nothing of where they are coming from. If we work hard to set a platform, a blueprint that would allow annexing, that would bring conclusively the harmonization of our existing ethnic group to become one, identified by Nigeria, good people for a great nation. Thank you. My name is Adamu Musa Adams.
Welcome to the Voice Pop segment on Patriotim. I am Israel Ojage Rejoice. Kindly come with us as we go to the street to find out what Nigerians are saying about their unique cultures. What ethnic group do you belong to?
The Urobos from Delta State. Yeah, we have a lot of ethnic groups, but the basic, the strong one in the whole of Delta State is actually Urobo. Yes.
So now that Urobo, what is that unique thing about your culture?
The way we dress, our food, the way we speak. I think we owns the original Pidgin English in Nigeria. Then the way we dress, the male among us wear short knicker, then tie this big wrapper, then mold the hips around the left hand side for the single ones, then the married ones to the right hand side with a walking stick, then with a lace kind of top. Some wear it, use the transparent lace, while some don't like to open their body. A person like me, I don't like opening my body. Then our food, we have all sorts of food. We have banga soup, which is made of pan kernel. We have uwo soup, which is made of so many ingredients. Then we have starch. Then in Nigeria here, the deltas, especially the Urobos, are the original owner of red gari. While turning the red gari alone, the aroma alone is enough to fill your tummy. Then we have something we call popo gari. You don't see it everywhere. It's basically, you see it either with a delta man or somebody who is around a delta person. It's made of a gari. It's like a whitish, starchy gari. That you can just, very crunchy. Then you eat it with granite and all that.
Tarok by tribe from Plateau State. We have cultural dance like we have masquerade, but especially we deal with those people that perform magic. So that is the unique thing, but the basic one is the masquerade.
So I'm from Edo State. Well, like in my place, particularly where I come from, we produce muchly like we are into gari business. I think in my place we are the highest producer of gari in Nigeria. Yeah. So we have let me say in my village, everybody are into gari business. We farm, we produce cassava, and we use the cassava to produce gari.
I belong to Tiv ethnic group. Well, we farm a lot. Farming. Yeah. We farm. Almost everybody, whether you are a worker, government worker, whatever you do, you still end up in the farming. And we do farm a lot.
Okay. Yeah. So apart from farming, is there any other thing you guys do there?
We have other cultures like we dance, hanyamamo, and yeah, hanyamamo,
Okay.
dancing, yeah.
Welcome to the question and answer segment on Patriotim. I am Israel Rejoice Ojagefo, And today's question goes this way. How can you describe Nigeria culture to a foreigner? Well, good luck. The first 3 persons who answer the questions correctly stand a chance to win he or herself a 500 naira recharge card of any network of your choice. Keep sending your answers to the following numbers on your screen. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Please stay tuned.